Hello and welcome to News Updates at 5. I'm Natasha Kifwamba, bringing you the latest news from across the UK. Our top story today, a major earthquake hit North Yorkshire yesterday, which sent aftershocks to Dorset. Houses and buildings have been destroyed and the search is still on for survivors. Let's join Zoe Kesterman as she talks to a victim of this terrible disaster, with shocking video footage which some viewers may find disturbing.
Now I'm off to York to visit a witness of the earthquake. York was a very historical city but sadly damaged in the tragic event. Let's investigate. Chloe is a 15-year-old schoolgirl who was at the school library when the earthquake struck. Chloe was doing office duty. Hi Chloe! So Chloe, where were you when the earthquake struck?
Well, I was just doing my lunchtime detention duty in school library, and I just felt this massive shudder. You know when you're really scared.
Yes.
It was like that, and it was just like, wow.
Well, let's see some of the footage. As you can see, this was a very traumatic experience for Chloe, and she's still recovering. Let's go check on her now. Chloe, how are you doing?
This just isn't a good time for me.
I think we better leave her to it. So Chloe, how has the earthquake affected you?
It affected me because, like, my school's been knocked down, my house has been locked down. Where am I supposed to live?
Let's find out how this disaster started. It all started with a conservative plate boundary in between the Eurasian and North American plate. When the two plates were moving past each other because they were not smooth, they had rough edges that became locked together. Pressure and friction started to build up and eventually they unlocked. The pressure was released and an earthquake happened.
Oh, what a heartwarming story there from Chloe Mackenzie. Now let's go over to our other correspondent, Harriet Topless.
Now I'm off to meet Maurice Chunkelbean in Dorset. This is Harriet Topless reporting live.
This is Maurice Chunkelbean, a farmer from Dorset. His farm has been completely destroyed. His plants and animals are all gone, leaving him with no livelihood. As you can see, he's very, very upset by this awful event that has happened.
So Maurice, what were you doing when the earthquake struck Dorset?
Well, I was out here tending my crops on my combine harvester, and then suddenly ground starts shaking. Now, I am not used to shaking and stuff, so I panicked and I jumped out my combine harvester and it just fell apart, and that was a brand new combine harvester.
Well, what do you think the government should do to prevent this from happening again?
I think they should make buildings more secure because a lot of people have lost their livelihood, including me, and I think they should make people more aware of what actually happens when earthquakes strike, because I don't think many people know.
Okay, thank you for your opinion, Maurice, and now let's have a look.
The courtyard, where Maurice used to grow small crops to sell to families, has now been ruined.
Today I'm joined by nature specialist June Summerfield. Now June, tell us about the impacts of the environment since this disastrous earthquake.
Well, Natasha, because England is such a wildlife hotspot with lots of great wildlife like beavers and foxes and deers, there's a lot can go wrong because they all have their own little habitat in a special way. Like a rabbit and its warren, what would happen if that got knocked down? All the rabbits would have to go. And a beaver with its dam, that's years and years of work, just fall apart. And a lot of animals will die from this. Food chains will deteriorate. We might just run out of animals. They might just all die.
Well, June, thank you for that lovely explanation. Now back to the studios. Now we've got some students from Manor CE telling us about the long-term and short-term effects of this earthquake.
One long-term effect of this earthquake is that it will have to rebuild all the buildings and try and restore many historic features.
Another long-term effect of the earthquake is we're going to have to spend a lot of money rebuilding stuff that could be spent on other things.
Scientists would have to do a lot of research to find out how our country could be protected from earthquakes that could happen in the future.
Firefighters and rescue teams will have to find as many survivors as they can in the rubble.
Hospitals will get filled up with casualties and people will have to work twice as hard as before.
Homes will be destroyed, so there'll be more people living on the streets while we rebuild the community. Well, that's all from us tonight.